Hola, ¿cómo estáis? I hope very much that you're enjoying my Spanish video lessons and are starting to feel more confident with your Spanish. We are now up to lesson 20 in the beginner's course, and you have learned a great deal of the basics. Today, we will look at 3 new very useful verbs: to need, necesitar, to want, querer, and to prefer, preferir. I will explain how you should form each of the verbs and how you can use them to make sentences. Let's see first to need, necesitar. I need is yo necesito. You need in an informal way is tú necesitas. You need in a formal way is usted necesita. He or she needs is él or ella necesita. We need is nosotros or nosotras necesitamos. All of you need in an informal way is vosotros or vosotras necesitáis. All of you need in a formal way is ustedes necesitan. And they need is ellos or ellas necesitan. So let's see now how we make some sentences. If you want to say, I need a taxi, you just have to say, necesito un taxi. You don't need to say the yo or tú, usted. You can if you want to emphasize it more, but you don't have to. If you want to say, I need to do something, then you'll have to say necesito and after the next verb without changing the ending in infinitivo. So, for example, if you want to say, I need to go, you'll say necesito ir. If you want to make a negative sentence and say, I don't need to go, then you just put a no before the verb. In this case, no necesito ir. And if you want to make a question, for example, do you need anything? You just say, ¿necesitas algo? Let's see now the verb to want, querer. I want is yo quiero. You want in an informal way is tú quieres. You want in a formal way is usted quiere. He or she wants is él or ella quiere. We want is nosotros or nosotras queremos. You want to all of you in an informal way is vosotros or vosotras queréis. All of you want in a formal way is ustedes quieren. And they want is ellos or ellas quieren. So, for example, if you want to say, I want a car, you just have to say, quiero un coche. But if you want to say that you want to do something, then you say quiero and after the verb in infinitivo without changing the ending. So if you want to say, I want to go, you just say, quiero ir. And if you want to make a negative sentence, you put the no before the verb. Exactly the same that with the verb necesitar. So if you want to say, I don't want to go, you say, no quiero ir. And to make questions, you just make the intonation of a question. So if you want to say, do you want anything? You just have to say, ¿quieres algo? Let's see now the verb to prefer, preferir. I prefer is yo prefiero. You prefer in an informal way is tú prefieres. You prefer in a formal way is usted prefiere. He or she prefers is él or ella prefiere. We prefer is nosotros o nosotras preferimos. You, all of you, prefer in an informal way is vosotros o vosotras preferís. All of you prefer to a group of people. In a formal way is ustedes prefieren. And they prefer is ellos or ellas prefieren. So, for example, if you want to say I prefer fish, you'll say prefiero el pescado. But if you want to say and you prefer to do something, then you say prefiero and after the verb in infinitive without changing the ending. So if you want to say I prefer to go, you'll say prefiero ir. And in negative, you just put a no before the verb. So I don't prefer to go is no prefiero ir. And to make questions, you just put the intonation of a question. So if you want to say, do you prefer this car? You'll say, ¿prefieres este coche? So this is all for today's lesson. Necesitar, querer, and preferir are verbs that we use a lot in everyday conversation. So try to practice making different sentences with them, and this will help you to memorize them better. Remember also not to change the second verb when you make sentences like quiero hablar español. I want to speak Spanish. Never say quiero hablo, as you would be saying I want I speak. This is a common mistake that students make at this stage. Have a great week, enjoy your Spanish studies, and see you in our next lesson. ¡Hasta luego!